Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Wee Touch of Madness, the video podcast hosted by me, Loz, every single week for your enjoyment. Now, today I have a special guest with me. I have Mr. Zack with me. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how you been keeping?
Been keeping well. Been trying to keep busy with my own music when I can, and session work that occasionally comes my way. So that keeps me plenty occupied. But yeah, been doing pretty good. Lots of musical things happening.
Now, coming on to the musical things and obviously everything that's happening, can you tell us and the audience a little bit about yourself and how and the music that you do?
Um, so I'm a solo artist and session musician based out of Vancouver, BC, um, in Canada, and basically I try and wear many hats, which can be a great and a good and a bad thing because I try and focus on the focal point, which is my own stuff, which is along the lines of instrumental, progressive rock, fusion type of stuff. Um, but I also try and diversify my abilities and stay versatile by playing funk stuff, jazz, Motown, uh, classic rock, blues, anything I can really get my hands on. Um, it's good to stay versatile, so then you can take flavors from everything and incorporate it into your own stuff to make your sound you.
That's a very, very interesting answer. I actually quite like that. I actually did listen to some of your music. My favorite one that I listened to so far was Ignition. That I really enjoyed that. That was a really good one. For
Oh,
all of
thanks.
Oh, you're very welcome. And for all of you unaware, I will have Zach's Spotify link down in the description, and I highly suggest you do check it out. It's a very good wide range of music just to listen, chill out, or get yourself pumped up for anything that you might be wanting to do. So, do you have any plans musically for next year?
Next year, definitely hitting the stage if I can. Um, I would be absolutely just over the moon if I could bring this project to the stage and actually present it in a physical form that's alive and breathing to people. Um, I love playing shows for people no matter what genre it is, but if I can take my own stuff to them, that would just be a whole new experience. And if people like it, then that's even better on top of that. Like that's just I can only I've never actually had a real opportunity to present my own things um, to a live audience. So it's going to be nerve-wracking when it finally happens, but it's also just going to be it's like I can only describe it as like a good nervousness.
Well, you know what they say there. If you do it, there's a fan base for it.
Yeah.
So, and you might as well try. If you don't try, you're not going to know really at the end of the day, are you?
Exactly, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
what's the worst that can happen?
Well, yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, as they say.
Exactly. That's exactly my point, and that's the thing that a lot of I find these days a lot of young musicians, young artists, they're afraid to take that step because they're like, oh, what if people don't like my sound? If you don't do, you don't know. Just go out there and
Yeah.
try. You will find an audience. I guarantee it. You will.
Yeah.
So, can you tell me about the influences that you have that got you into music in the first place?
Well, if I'm really going back to the start of it all, I guess the first thing that really ignited my love for the guitar. I mean, I've always kind of loved the guitar. I never wanted to play it because I thought I didn't want to be bad before being good. But I guess I don't know if you ever remember that video on YouTube. It was one of the first guitar YouTube videos, if not maybe the first. And it was Fun 2 playing Pac Bell's Cannon, but like the rock version. And it was well, I remember waking up one day and seeing my dad playing it on YouTube, and I was just blown away. And it was at that point that I was like, you know what? Maybe I can. maybe I can do this. Maybe I want it bad enough now that I'm willing to feel like an idiot playing nonsense at first. Um, so that's definitely a big one. A lot of YouTube guitarists from back in like 2007 and later.
Well, that's
Um,
going back some years.
yeah, right. But YouTube was only a
Well, you're
couple
making
years
me feel
old.
old now.
Yeah. Oh, I feel old thinking about it. Um, but yeah, so there's that. Joe Satriani's a huge one. He'll always be on a pedestal of his own in my books, just because he was like my first favorite, you know, actual like record label guitarist who's writing and touring and all that. Another one I guess would be like John Petrucci, um, and even like older guitarists like Billy Gibbons and like Stevie Ray Vaughan and at one point I was like obsessed with Jimi Hendrix too. I kind of went backwards. I
Well,
kind of
who
went from
isn't kind of obsessed with Jimi Hendrix a little bit, really? I mean,
yeah,
that guy is like a legend,
well yeah,
so
revolutionized like a new way of playing. Before then I guess the guitar was kind of something that you just plinked little chords on. And now it's like, oh yeah, you got these big massive leads with huge distortion and all that. But yeah, I guess that's kind of how I went. I started with like the neoclassical shredders and the all the metal shredders, and then I kind of went back to classic rock for a while, and now I'm kind of like into all of it. So
very versatile answer that one. We kind of went from both ends of the spectrum, kind of
well,
there.
well, yeah, I think it really kind of allows you to pull back and get a really good idea of the fact that the guitar is an instrument that you can play
I thought
anything
it was a
on.
toy.
Well, I would like to feel like it is, be that good, you know? Um, but yeah, it's something that, you can play anything on. It's like a piano or a saxophone or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, with the music that you make, can you explain what your creative process is like? From when you get the idea to the conception to actually putting it down and getting out there.
Yeah, so the hardest part of that is always the beginning because you come up with something that you like. It's usually just from me noodling, as bad as it might sound, but just me like kind of like playing around with melodic ideas, and then I'll come up with something that I like, and then I'll work off of that. Um, but the hardest part is once you get that idea down, it's like, okay, where do I go from there? And then I'll usually record like a rough demo where I've got like one track of rhythm guitar, one track of lead, and like a really like skeleton of a drum track for the whole thing. And then I'll usually try and finish the actual form of the song. And then I'll try and fill in all the gaps and write extra things on top of that and refine the drums more. And then usually I write a bass line almost last. Um, so yeah, that's kind of it. I kind of from the ground up, it's very much just building bits and pieces on a digital audio workstation. That's the ultimate writing tool for me since day one has been using digital audio workstations to record with, so I can actually see the idea visually. Um, you know, I'm blown away by the fact that people could before then write songs. Um, well, I guess you could write on notation and stuff, but write songs and be able to remember everything you did. you
Well,
know?
I actually know a couple of people like that personally. If the viewers at home remember from my previous episode with Big Q, that's exactly what he does.
Mhm.
He's a machine with it. Sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, just like give me a break, give me 5 minutes, then I'll
Yeah.
listen. All right, just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's the old school way, but it's like it's a way that I think if you can pull that off, who knows, maybe you can write better songs that way because then you're hearing everything in succession every time.
Mm,
But I've always done it is doing it bit by bit, kind of like building Lego. You can see your progress the whole time,
I love Lego.
visually, and
I
who
love
doesn't
Lego.
love
I
Lego?
love Lego. Absolutely love Lego.
Yeah,
I still played
and
with Lego up until I was 25.
there you go. Yeah, maybe now I'm thinking I should go get a Lego set.
Oh hell yeah!
Progress like a periphery Lego set. They should do that. That'd be cool.
Let's just go out and get a Lego set. Why not?
Yeah, just anything.
So
Yeah.
you with your music, obviously I've seen with you've done a couple of collaborations, like with a couple of people down the line with all of your songs that you've got out. So if there was a collaboration with someone who you would most love to do, who would it be?
Man, that's gonna be the hardest question on the all day. Um, if there's someone I could really do a collaboration with, I mean, Pliny is my favorite artist, so
Hmm.
I think the logical answer to that would be collaborating with him. But I love what he does on his own so much that I wouldn't want anything else to change about it. Um, right?
Okay, then barring
So,
that, then who
um,
else?
um, so, I don't know. I think it'd be cool to do something with like Joe Satriani, I guess, because he was sort of my first favorite. Like I said, my first favorite sort of big guitarist, and it would just be really cool to hear where I am now, collaborate with where he's always been, you know?
Yeah.
And that I just think that'd be such a magical thing. I would say either him or 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 Fun Two, who I know I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I would like to collaborate with him at some point because he was the guitarist that ignited me even wanting to pick up the guitar.
Well,
So
then there's your answer right there. Don't think it,
yeah,
do it. If you've already got him
yeah.
on Facebook, go for it.
Yeah. So I think that'd be a neat experience. I was thinking about asking him and going like, "Hey, should like throw something together. It'd be kind of neat." Maybe in the near future when I'm not crazy busy, but yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Uh,
Is there one thing you wish you knew now that you could have taken back to the start of your music career?
Definitely. I think what I would want to tell my old self is, "Hey, actually practice." You know, like don't just try and come up with silly ideas and like sit down, put a metronome on, and learn how to play the G major scale. So then you
Actually
actually
practice.
know what it is you're doing.
Oh my god.
That's the thing is, I never actually got a practice regiment going until I was about 20 years old. Before then, it was all just like playing around with ideas. It's only in the last 6 years that I've actually gone, "Hey, I need to actually sit down and hone this stuff and refine it and make it as best as I can." So, that's pretty much it.
That's the one thing you wish you known at the start is actually practice.
Like, actually practice, like,
That's
work
a
on it.
fantastic answer. That is probably I've actually think that is got to be, in my opinion, the funniest answer I've had to that question since doing this. That is brilliant.
Well, I think I've kind of done things the way I've wanted to do them from the beginning, besides that. I just think I'd be miles ahead of where I am now, um, if I, actually thought of it if I actually had a consistent routine where I was building my technical abilities, because in my opinion, technical ability on anything, whether it's an instrument or whatever is freedom to do whatever you want. You know, if
Yeah.
you think it and your technical ability will allow it, you can do it. Totally.
If you think it, you can do it.
Exactly. That is the theme for the day.
Oh, brilliant. Now, obviously, the music that you do is like all instrumentals, so there's no like vocals, there's no lyrics involved.
Mhm.
Um, so is there a message? Obviously, because you don't portray it in like the verbal sense of in your music. Is there a message out there to your fans that you would like to give?
Um, I suppose it's the struggle um with being an instrumentalist is you have to tell a story without lyrics, right? So you have to make your composition as lyrical as possible, or you don't have to. But I mean, if you want like easy listening music or something like that, then it's whatever. You can have your smooth jazz elevator thing going on, whatever. But if you want it to actually have some kind of a theme to it, um, I think the best way to do it is to make your motivic ideas very memorable and very dynamically diverse so it's as human voice as possible. I guess that's probably the best way I could describe it. Um, so I think the message I'm kind of trying to get across with the way I write is I don't know, I guess I kind of lean towards all my music having some sort of a combination of angst and melancholy and just dark ambience. Basically, anything that your middle class suburban teenager loves to convey, right? um, so that's kind of the side I lean on. And I think that's kind of a thing with a lot of instrumental progressive metal. It all kind of airs towards that side of that kind of mood. You know,
Hmm,
it's like a little bit of happy, maybe, and some evilness too, and some angst.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough. That was a good one.
that's the
Right.
best. That's the best I've got to describe it right now.
That's the best you got. Fair, okay,
Yeah,
I'll take your word for that one.
yeah,
Right, now we have come to that time in this interview where we now get down and gritty to the proper serious questions, where it's going to probably shake your reality.
right
Okay,
on. Let's dive
so
right in.
yeah, we're going to dive right in. So I hope you're ready for your first proper super serious question.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, because I didn't get the answer I was looking for on this one, I will ask it again. How many chickens would it take to kill an elephant?
Um, God, we're talking a lot of those things. We're talking. I think we'd have to drown the elephant in chicken feathers. I think that's how it would have to happen. So we're talking like, let's pack Wembley Stadium full of chickens and a baby elephant.
And a baby.
I'm sorry, that's too much.
Yes, now that is the sort of answer I was looking for. Not all logical. That is what I wanted.
Perfect.
Oh, so can you tell me what the most trouble you have been in? Now, remember, nothing illegal, nothing that's a crime. Try and keep it PG.
Yeah. Most trouble I've been into?
Try and
God,
think back on
that's
your middle class suburban white boy.
well, that's what I'm trying to think. God, I think one time I was with a friend and when we were like what, probably I don't know, I want to say like 16 or something. And my friend I think my friend had like some roaches or something on him. and he had a bag of them, and we were skateboarding on a main road, and the cops stopped us because that was against the law at the time, I guess. And when the cops'
Nothing
lights
to
went
do with the
on,
fact that you're a minor.
yeah, exactly. It was in the middle of the night too, and the cops' lights come on to stop us from skateboarding, and he pulls the bag of roaches out of his pocket and throws it in a ditch, and then the cop comes out and he's like, "Oh, what did you throw in the ditch there?" And he pulls his flashlight out and he looks and picks it up. He's like, "You guys got to come with me." And I was just guilty by association. Like I didn't do anything, but he just had that on him. And then he ended up picking us up, and then I luckily ended up getting dropped off. And then he took him to his parents' house, and his parents freaked out at him. So needless to say, I'm pretty wholesome in that sense where I don't really get into trouble, but that's probably the most legal trouble I've ever been into.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
So, what are your thoughts on the music industry today?
You know, today, as in like now, I think there's actually some pretty interesting things going on
Yeah.
because at one point, you know, pop music was very just super insanely formulaic.
Hmm.
Everything was, you know, exactly 3 minutes and whatever seconds long, super radio friendly. It all kind of sounded like it was done by the same producer. Super, you know, extra spicy processing on everything. Um, but now I think there's a lot more of a I don't know, I guess it's almost like pop music now is kind of catering to musicians a little more, you know. You hear pop songs now that have like a really sick bass line, or there's certain chord qualities in like the theory aspect of things where it's a little more colorful and a little there you can hear a lot of jazz influence in there.
Mm.
Charlie Puth is a prime example of that. Um, or like Dua Lipa or something like that. Another great example is Silk Sonic, Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak.
I do like
They're
Bruno Mars. I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty talented.
they're writing some seriously cool stuff right now. You know, one of the biggest songs out there right
That's my
now is
karaoke song. Bruno Mars Grenade. That's my karaoke song.
yeah. There you go.
When I'm out, I'm like, right, put it on, Grenade. I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
doing it. It's happening.
Used to be
Um,
YMCA till I heard that one. No, Gay
oh
Bar by
yeah,
Electric Six. That used to be my karaoke song.
yeah, yeah. YMCA. We love the Village People. um, but yeah, there's some pretty cool things happening with stuff that's coming out in like the last 3 years or so.
Yeah,
I think we're kind of taking a turn towards going back to being a little more sophisticated almost. Um,
a
so
little
that's
bit sophisticated. Oh,
yes.
dearie me.
Well, what I mean is like, you know, there's a lot more stuff in the music now that sounds there's more attention to detail with making stuff sound really just it grooves and it's just harmonically pleasing as opposed to something that's just it just kind of sounds like a backing track with someone singing over it, you know.
So, how do you feel that the internet has impacted the music industry then?
It's made it so everybody can hear everything everyone does all the time. So
A very abrupt, short answer there.
but well, it's true, and it just makes everything possible, and that's a good and a bad thing. The bad thing is that because now anyone can do it, there's just so much just it's just saturated to no end. And it's
That's
not gonna
exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying a few weeks ago. It,
yeah.
it is a good thing because you can get out there, you can get your music out there, but also a lot of other people have exactly the same idea. So the market's just saturated with so much. So to try and break through that, to get to a fan base is it's going to be difficult. But if you're persistent, you'll get there.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's so much of it, and it just feels like, this endless supply of stuff that, it feels like the internet's hoarding, you know? But the good thing about that is that it creates a lot of healthy competition, and it's stuff like that that I think makes us move and progress forward, because, you've always gotta be making something that's next level. I've heard everything you hear now that breaks through that wall, is always just super pristinely good. That's it's not just the songwriting, it's like just the production of it and the mixing. And there's no reason for you to not be able to achieve that with what we have now. If you have a MacBook and you have GarageBand or Logic Pro 10 or whatever, you can make a hit song. And if you can learn to use that technology to your advantage well enough, you can make something really incredible. And it's so available. It's just who's willing to take that extra step to make it really good. And I'm still in the process of trying my damnedest to get to that point where, everything I do sounds really good, and it's also a matter of building personnel to help you do that too. Like, some people can do it on their own. I think most people can't, so that's kind of the difference, is that, you have the bedroom solo artist person who might be making something awesome, um, but and then you've got, another artist who's doing all this stuff to make their product better. That's not just them, it's like a team of people. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling, but you kind of get the idea, right?
I get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, question 1: do you sing in the shower? And if you do, what do you sing?
Hmm. When I was a kid, I sang in the shower, and I don't know what stopped me, but now I don't. But when I did, it was a lot of, if I can really dig into my memory from forever ago.
Would it
I
have
don't know,
been
I think,
Britney Hit Me Baby One More Time?
if only. No, it was a
That's
little
been my
angstier
common
than that.
answer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, "Sweet Caroline" by Neil Diamond. No, I'm kidding. Um, no, remember, we're talking angsty middle-class suburban teenagers, right? So, I think it was more like things along the line of, like, I don't know, Green Day or Billy Talent or something.
Well, if you said, well, because you said angsty, kind of middle class white suburban, I would have thought would have been NWA.
Maybe, yeah, or maybe Blink-182.
Yeah, just a mix.
Yeah. My own mixtape, my shower mixtape.
So, have you had fun doing this with me today?
Oh, big time.
Yeah,
I always like talking to people about music stuff, because I learn things, just by, if it's just me saying things, sometimes it solidifies things in my head. So
yeah.
that helps, and it's also just awesome to meet new people, because
Oh,
I love
stop
doing
it!
that.
You can't see because on my beard, but I'm blushing. Stop it.
That's why I'm trying to grow a beard, so you can't see me blush either. It's a good tactic you got there.
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh,
So,
yeah.
would you like to come back on then?
I would absolutely love to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
damn right. See, now that is all the time that we have for today. So, if any of you at home have enjoyed this episode today, and if you've got any questions you like to ask at yourself, it's the same rules that apply for every single one. The most weirdest, messed up, random question you can think of, put it down in the comments. And next time we get Zach on, we will ask him it. Let's try and throw him off his game. Try and scare the pants off this white middle class suburban boy.
I love it. Let's do it.
In the meantime, I will have links to all of Zach's social media and his Spotify down in the comments, so make sure you check it out. And also let you know that I also have a new Facebook and Instagram page. All you got to do is just go on and search A Wee Touch of Madness, and you can find us there. Follow us when you get the latest news and the latest updates on all of the podcasts happening every single week. So in the meantime, stay safe, and I will catch you for the next episode. Peace.